And that's how you're going to do it. You're just going to tell them, point this belly button, and then visually you can break up those quadrants. Doesn't that make sense? That's an easy one. Nobody should miss that.
So that's basically, you're going to stand on it, you're going to say it's a jump.
Yeah, I'm going to say, show me this, and you're just going to have to show it to me. You know, right? And then we'll just go through the questions, and then there'll be two of you guys here, and then you'll swap. So suprasternal notch, does everybody know where that is? Remember?
Up here.
You can go straight to the suprasternal notch. It's got to be hard today because I can't really get to it on him, but everybody knows what that is, right? Sternum, right?
Notch.
What I'm going to do is, if I find the sternum, I'm going to find the suprasternal notch first, go a little inferior to it. Same thing for the sternal angle. I'm going to go back to the notch, go a little inferior, and I'm going to look for that bump. That's the sternal angle. And you can feel it on yourself. You feel that bump there?
Yeah.
You should feel a bump. That's the sternal angle. Xiphoid, how do I find the xiphoid? You know, best way to find the xiphoid is I'm going to go back, use my landmark, the suprasternal notch, just start moving inferior down the sternum, and basically when the xiphoid's going to be right before I fall off, right? I'm
Before
off
you get
here.
to the rib cage.
So I'm just going to go right until just before I fall off, then I'm at the tip of the xiphoid process.
Okay.
As soon as you stop feeling bone, right?
As soon as you stop feeling bone, move back up just a centimeter and you're on it. Right? If you take in CPR, you know what the xiphoid is. What about the mastoid process? Everybody remember mastoid? That was on our
It's under
test
here,
last
right?
time, right? Yeah, so mastoid, you can go straight to it. Remember those
it's back
bumps? Remember the mastoid process?
Yeah.
So
Got it.
you can go straight to the mastoid. Acromion, that's something we had last month. Right, I'm going to move down the shoulder to the dome of the shoulder here, right at the end of the shoulder, the lateral most aspect. That's my acromion process. Right? If I go any farther, I'm off the shoulder. So that's the best way, is just to kind of run down. It's that bump, that flat bone right on top. That's the acromion. Acromion or acromion process. Clavicle. Everybody find that? Probably the best way to find that is go back to that suprasternal notch again. Right? I go back to the notch, and then I can just move lateral. There's his right clavicle. I can go back to the notch, move lateral. There's his left clavicle. So everybody got that?
Got that.
Mid-clavicular line, that's just, what you're going to do is just trying to find the middle of the clavicle. Right? So go back to the suprasternal notch. Just try to run out the clavicle, try to find the bend in it. That's about where the middle is. Remember we learned that line when we were studying the regions, the 9 regions, the tic-tac-toe kind of grid. That was one of the lines, the mid-clavicular line.
Turn around.
Right? The medial border of the scapula.
It's in the back.
Yeah, the easiest way to find the medial border is you tell them to put their hand back here. Like, that makes them actually kind of chicken wing. And that pops right out. That medial border pops right out. So you'll feel it. So that's the easiest way to find the medial border of the scapula. What you're going to do too, by the way, when you're taking this test, the student that's standing there is not going to help you at all. They're not allowed to say anything. They're not allowed to help you, right? So
You can tell them to do that thing
you tell them they're your patient. You tell them do whatever you want. So I just need to see it, right? So like if I got to spin him, then I'm going to tell him to spin. But he's not going to spin for me, right? And so if you're doing it wrong, he's just going to let you do it wrong, if whether he knows it or not, right? Okay, so the vertebrae. So you do want to be able to find it, the vertebrae. Usually, I just give you two. There's a bunch of ways to find the vertebrae, but the two ways that you can find vertebrae, high and low, is one was. Do you remember what we called C7? Another name for it. I don't know if you remember this, but it's called vertebral prominence.
It's
The
for
point of your
that.
neck.
What's that?
The highest point of your neck.
It's basically just that bump at the base of your neck. Vertebral prominence. That's
Right
C7.
down, that's it up there.
Right. So if you, just like he's getting his head down a little bit, I can
Oh,
feel
yeah.
it. So that's a good starting point. So that's where you have to start for up in here. So then all I'm going to do, if I want to find something, I'm just going to say, here's C7, and I'm going to go up from there, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or I can go down and you find 7 again.
Yeah, I got two.
T1, T2, T3, T4, T, I'm just going to count. If I'm way down here, I probably don't want to start up here. So all I can do is I find the iliac crest, which is on the sheet, by the way. This is the way you grab some of these iliac crests. You just come in here. You'll feel the iliac crest. and I just come straight over. That's L4, right? And then from there I can go up and down, right? L3, L2, or back to L4 again, L5, or the sacrum, right? So those are the ways you can find it. You can find any vertebrae that way. You know, I'm not going to be checking. As long as you do that process and you get close, you're good. But notice the movements I do are small movements, right? They're not big movements. Does that make sense? So if you're counting, you just need to be in the ballpark, you know, right? Does that make sense? So that explains sacrum. Where's your olecranon process? So elbow, right? Medial epicondyle and lateral epicondyle, the humerus. You remember those words?
Medial has to be on the inside.
Right, so medial's that bump on the inside, lateral's the bump on the outside, right? The humerus. What about medial and lateral epicondyle of the femur? Same thing again, right? Bump on the inside, the medial, lateral's bump on the outside, right? So you can go straight to those. Medial malleolus of the tibia. Which one's that? So bump on the inside of the ankle. Lateral malleolus of the fibula. Bump on the outside of the ankle.
That's your ankle.
Exactly. Iliac crest we saw. What about anterior superior iliac spine? We learned that, right? Anterior superior iliac spine. Common reference point in X-ray. You use that. They call it ASIS. So the best way to find it is to grab the iliac crest, your thumbs fall right on it. I can tell you it's right about their belt line. Same thing with the PSIS, the posterior superior iliac spine. Grab the iliac crest, your thumbs fall right on it. It's the dimples. You know, you ever seen the dimples right here? That is where the posterior superior iliac spine is.
Iliac spine.
So you can't like pull the shirt up, pull the pants down and see the dimples. You can't do that. You got to just do it the professional way. Patella, where's the patella?
The knee.
It's a kneecap. Greater trochanter. Where would that be? Greater trochanter. She's pointing to it, right? Greater trochanter is right out here. So it's going to be the lateral part of your hip. And the way we find that is you actually have to spin your leg a little bit and you'll feel it. If you're on it, you'll feel it. You'll feel it move under your hand. Right about where your pocket is. See where I'm at? You feel that trochanter move over there? That's so we'd be looking for that, right? Wiggle on that hip to see your to see if you're on it and you know you're on it. What about calcaneus? So
That's the
where-
heel.
Your heel, right?
Oh, okay.
So calcaneus would be here. What about, then we get into muscles, soft tissue, thyroid cartilage. Where's your thyroid cartilage? So right, easy to see on him, thyroid cartilage.
I can see that.
Supraclavicular fossa. So that's the indentation right above the clavicle. Supraclavicular fossa. Right? Feel it, everybody's got one, right? Indentation above the clavicle. And then axilla, where's your axilla? Axilla. Nuchal ligament, just a ligament in the neck. Drop your head down, everybody can feel it. A little ropey ligament in the middle, the posterior aspect of your neck. Can you feel that ligament? Can you feel it right there?
Yeah.
Nuchal, can everybody feel that? Drop your head down, can you feel that nuchal ligament?
Yeah.
Flex real hard and it'll pop right out. Flex real hard. Can you feel that? That's the nuchal ligament. So if you need help finding it, just let me know. Thenar eminence. Where's the thenar eminence? Thenar. Yeah, it's the thenar is this fleshy area, which is muscle, and then the hypothenar is this fleshy area, which is also muscle.
Will you show that this way, please?
So
One's the
thenar.
thumb, the other was the pinky.
Right. So that's common term right there. Thenar eminence, hypothenar eminence. Cubital fossa. Cubital fossa.
It's gonna be in here, ain't it? Some
No, she's pointing to the right thing.
Let me see.
Elbow.
elbow.
The elbow fossa here, cubital fossa.
Oh.
And popliteal fossa. You probably know where that is too, right? Right, popliteal fossa. Biceps femoris tendon. So the way we're going to find the biceps femoris tendon is we're going to, and you're doing what's common, mistake your biceps femoris. Where's biceps femoris? Yes. Right, so it's that ropey tendon behind the knee. What side is it on? It's on the lateral side. Lateral side of the knee. Not biceps brachii, right? Biceps femoris. semitendinosus tendon is another hamstring. It's the other one of the three hamstrings, right? Ropey tendon on the inside of the knee, right on the medial aspect of the posterior knee. Everybody feel that? Grab back here. You can feel your semitendinosus tendon. Feel it?
I pulled this one.
Pull a running or something.
I hit the base playing baseball, and it just pulled out. I fell like straight down. Couldn't even put pressure on it.
I bet.
I was done for like 2 months.
Yeah, that's a bad injury. So semitendinosus medial, biceps femoris lateral, but they're both hamstrings, right? So that's the hamstring tendons. What about pectoralis major? Did I skip one? Yeah, so pectoralis major is just here. You want to show me really, you can show the muscle right up in here. I think I skipped it, sternocleidomastoid. So where's that? Sternocleidomastoid. So we remember that. The way you find that is if you drop their head a little bit and you tell them to turn. Oh, sorry, just your head. But you got to drop it. See it pop out? See it right there? So that's, he's flexing, contralaterally rotating. It's the right SCM. That's what it does. So the left is going to flex and contralaterally rotate. There's the left. See it? So that's the way you find that one. Just get him to flex and contralaterally rotate. It's going to pop right out. So what about the rhomboid major and minor? So we do those as together as a pair. So we'll spin him around, and the rhomboid major and minor are right in here. We're just going to show right here between the shoulder blades. That's where we can also have him squeeze the shoulder blades together. You can feel those contract, right? So
that's the minor and major?
Yes, minor's a little one here. Major's the bigger one down here. But they're both there. And so sits muscles. Ever remember the sits?
The shoulder.
We know the shoulder. Now we never need to wear the shoulder. So supraspinatus is deep to the upper trap. So this is where supraspinatus would be. Deep to the upper trap here. Right? So technically if I want to feel supraspinatus, I got to go real deep. Right? Infraspinatus is going to be on this lateral aspect, the shoulder, and it's going to be high. Right? And if you feel around, you can feel it. It's usually really sore in there. So that's infraspinatus. Just below that, teres minor. Just below that. Subscapularis, really the only way to get to subscapularis easy is you actually just have to kind of go in here. It's in the armpit. Subscapularis is in the armpit. Because it sits on the anterior part of the scapula, right? So I would get to the anterior scapula by poking in here a little bit. So that's where subscapularis is. Okay, so those are your 4 sits muscles. Deltoid, everybody should know deltoid, right?
Deltoid is up here.
Deltoid, bicep brachii, tricep brachii, okay? Upper trapezius would just be right here, upper trapezius. Deep to that, that's what you'd say. You'd say for supraspinatus, deep to the upper trap, right? This is upper trapezius right here.
What's that thing you can squeeze?
Yeah, it's just a superficial muscle, right? And brachioradialis. What's the way we find that? Do you remember that muscle? Yeah, so I'm going to put his arm, tell him to put his arm like that. That's the brachioradialis. That's what we'd be looking for. Elbow bent, thumb up. Brachioradialis. Elbow bent, thumb up. Right? Rectus abdominis.
That's the 6 pack.
Yeah, so rectus abdominis, easy to find. Quadriceps femoris, we're just asking for just the quadriceps femoris. Gastrocnemius. Gastrocnemius. Right, Achilles or calcaneal tendon. Right, it's the tendon, right? Achilles tendon, big thick tendon, just superior to the calcaneus, right? Tibialis anterior, so where's tibialis anterior? Right? Remember that was actually on our test last time. Tibialis anterior is one of those muscles. It's the shin muscle, right? Notice it's on the lateral side. It's the lateral side. It's the lateral side. Inside is really just bone. Right? It's just the tibia. Right? And then the joints. Sternoclavicular joint. So where is that? Here. Yeah, so I'm going to go back to that suprasternal notch. I move a little lateral and a lateral position. Right? Sternoclavicular joint. Between sternum, clavicle. What about a acromioclavicular joint? Just going to come out to the clavicle here. I'm on the acromioclavicular joint between clavicle and acromion. You can feel it. Feel that? Okay, you feel the same. You got felt like you had a big gap there. So AC joint. That's an AC joint, right? Acromioclavicular joint. Glenohumeral joint. Does everyone remember that one? Glenohumeral.
It's up here.
That was the actual ball and socket joint. Right?
Scapula and your humerus.
Glenohumeral. Right? Humero-ulnar joint. Humero-ulnar. Between humerus and ulna. So what we're looking for is that's that hinge joint. Right? So we're going to show it by showing the medial part of the elbow. Because that's that hinge joint. Okay? The metacarpal phalangeal joints. Where are they? The metacarpal phalangeal joints. Right? There's 5 of them. Okay? And coxal. Coxal. Or the coxal. The coxal joint is here, right? To find the hip, you basically have to poke in the groin a little bit and kind of spin again. That's where you find the hip. Coxal joint. So it's going to be like right in here. That's actually where the hip socket is, believe it or not. So it's not back here, like some say my hip hurts, it point back here. No, really the ball and socket joint is right here. Okay. Tibiofemoral joint. What is the tibiofemoral? So what joint is that? It's the knee, right? So it's the knee. Tibiofemoral is the knee. Okay. Tibiofibular joint, and I'm asking for the proximal one. Think about that for tibiofibular joint.
It's in the back.
It's right here. It's between the tibia and the fibula. The way you find it is you have to feel the head of the fibula. You should be feeling for a bump. Feel it right there. Yep, you're on it right there. Feel head of the fibula. Feeling for the head of the fibula.
Okay.
Right there. It should be prominent on just about everybody. So it's on the lateral aspect there. Tibiofibular joint. It's a proximal one. The proximal tibiofibular joint. Then there's 3 names: tibio-crural, tibio-talar, ankle mortise joint. All that's the ankle joint. That's the ankle joint. Right? What about temporomandibular joint? Where's that? So temporomandibular. What I do is I'm just going to come anterior to the ear, and can you open and close your jaw? So, and then I can feel it. See how it's moving my finger? It's right there. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to find it, get them to open and close. Make sure you feel it move underneath your finger, and then you're on. Okay, so that's how we find the T and J. Then we go over some joint movements. I'll go over them quickly, like shoulder, abduction, adduction. You know, do you remember that? Yes. Flexion, extension.
This is flexion.
Awesome. How about hyperextension? And then internal and external rotation.
Internal and external.
Yep.
No.
Yep, that's good.
Good job.
And there is circumduction too. That's 8 of them if you count them all. So that's good. That's going to be the same for the hip. Same thing. Same movements for the hip, right? Wrist and hand. There is hyperextension of the wrist. It's not on here, but flexion, extension, hyperextension, right? And then they can call this ulnar and radial deviation. They call it here ulnar, ulnar radial flexion. That's another term for it. Scapula. Do you remember the scapular movements like protraction, retraction? You know, remember protraction, retraction. This is elevation, depression. There is an upward, downward rotation. Upward, downward rotation. It just deals with the movement of the scapula. Okay, that is on there. Elbow's pretty easy, right? Flexion, extension, pronation, supination. Right, so that's elbow. Head and trunk. Do you remember the head and trunk movements like flexion, extension?
Flexion, extension,
Yes.
and hyperextension.
Hyperextension. What about left and right rotation?
Left and right.
Right. How about lateral flexion?
Lateral flexion.
Just like this, right? Just like that. So that's left and right lateral flexion. And then you could do a circumduction with that too, but you hit them all. Hip, same as shoulder, right? So hip is same as shoulder. Knee is easiest, right? Flex and extension. That's it. The key one was foot and ankle. Remember those? Dorsiflexion, plantar flexion, inversion, eversion.
Eversion is outward.
Is the
Here, the
bottom
sole
of
of
the
the feet
foot
going in.
faces outward with eversion.
Yeah, right, right, right.
Eversion?
eversion, the bottom of the foot faces outward, inversion, the bottom of the foot faces outward.
Okay.
So that's it, thank you, appreciate it.